Now, I thought I'd take a look at my bike kit today. I did do a video on this about 5 years ago, but my kit's changed a bit since then and my bike has completely changed. I've got a new one since then, so I thought I'd go over it again now. I've kind of upgraded a bit. First up on the front here, I've got a flashlight adaptation there, which I've shown before, with a clip here that just unclips and you can put a regular flashlight in. I've got one of those Cree ones in there, which I can either have on a regular light or on strobe. That fits in there tightly. It moves around as well, swivels on that there. Then as well as that, I've also got a light there connected to a dynamo, so that if the battery runs out on the Cree, I've got a backup, which isn't bright enough to light my way, but it will make me visible to other road users at least. And same on the back. Got a little bag here, and on this side it's got a bike repair kit. In there I've got all sorts of different tools and things, as well as a lighter and a Swiss Army knife, so I can fix any punctures, and there's tools in there to take the wheel off and whatnot. On the other side here I've got just a few more little tools there, various different size spanners and whatnot, as well as a bit of black electrical tape that comes in handy. Of course, here I've got a pump and a water bottle. In the top here I have a spare jumper, see in there, and a ground sheet here. I'll now take out the contents of this bag here on the left hand side and show you what I have in there. Now, this is everything I keep in the small pocket on the left hand side of my pin here. I have an emergency rain cape there, basically a poncho. I have some antibacterial alcohol gel, just a bit of tissue paper there, some napkins, a small first aid kit, a kind of Ziploc style baggie, so I can put anything in to keep it waterproof if I need to, or collect water in there. I've got a fire making kit there, which is some fire starters and a bit of bicycle inner tube, another packet of tissue paper, an emergency whistle with some paracord attached to it, and it's full of matches. It's one of those ones where you open it up and it's, you know, got a waterproof container inside. I've got a foil emergency blanket there, and then that's it. Now I'll show you what I keep in my right hand side pouch. Now in that right hand side pouch I keep a folding trowel there, 4 pegs for the ground sheet, so I can nail that to the ground if I want, a pull for those pegs. This just sort of slides in to the top there, where there's a hole in there, and so you can pull them out with that if you need to. I've never actually needed to use that, so I might ditch that. My cycling gloves, and this can of tyre foam. And you get this in a lot of new cars as well. Rather than giving you a spare tyre, they give you these foam spray things to fill the tyre up to get you home. Now the reason I have this, as well as a puncture repair kit and a pump, is that last year I was out and I got a puncture and I went to pump the tyres up and the pump itself broke. I'd had it for 6 or 7 years, so I'd done pretty well. But when it broke, it then let out even more air, so I was pretty much had a completely flat back tyre. And I was quite away from home, so I ended up cycling on it, buckling the wheel, having to get a new wheel, and it ended up being reasonably costly. So just as a backup now, in case the pump fails me, I've got this as well. Now I don't tend to keep anything permanently in the rest of the bag. There are 2 more large pockets either side at the top here, which I use when I'm going out camping. I also have a bag that fits to the front of the bike, which I don't tend to have on unless I'm going camping as well, just so I can fit more stuff in. But one thing I do always try and keep in here is my Hexie Stove with some fuel, so I've always got a way of boiling some water up, as well as one of my canteen cups, so that way I know I can always purify some water to drink. Even if everywhere's wet and damp where it's been raining and I can't start a fire, I know at least I can get the Hexie Stove going to boil up some water or make myself a drink. Also, I would carry a D-lock with me if I ever go into a town or city, and I think I might need to lock my bike up if I'm going into a shop or something. But just for coming out into the woods, I don't tend to bother with the D-lock. Though I do sometimes if I go camping, just to make me feel a bit more secure about leaving the bike out at night. Also have a light here, which can either be a regular light or a strobe light, and that slips in there, and when I zip that up it holds it in place to protect it, and then I can just whip it out if I need to at night. And as I said earlier, I've then got another light connected to the dynamo. And on the back of this pannier bag are two more little pouches there and there, which are the perfect size for water bottles, so you can carry, you know, a reasonable amount of water on here if you want to, as well as what you can fit in the, you know, the other pouches that are on the pannier as well. I basically feel like I have enough kit on the bike there to stay out if I want to or need to for whatever reason. You know, I've got the ground sheet that I can use on the ground or to make a shelter. I've got means of boiling water and starting a fire, little first aid kit, things like that. So it's just hand, you know, I feel more secure having all that with me if I am going out quite a long way into the woods, just in case. Or like I say, if it just takes my fancy, I want a night out. See, now this really pisses me off. Someone has gone to the trouble to drive all the way out here to dump a fridge. I mean, it's literally wouldn't be many more miles to drive to the proper tip. You know, you've saved yourself maybe 5 or 10 pence worth of petrol by dumping it here instead of taking it to the dump. I mean, it just doesn't make sense. If you're going to bother yourself to drive out here to dump this, take it to the fucking tip. I just don't understand the mentality. Right, now I thought I'd actually remember to say goodbye and thanks for watching this time. So something I always forget to do, you know, I'll be like excited shooting various things for the video, but then I always forget to do an ending, so my videos kind of end a bit abruptly sometimes. But I just thought I'd say, you know, thanks for watching, so I really do appreciate it. Because I don't really get to share my hobbies with anyone in person, because none of my friends are really into the things I am, whether it be you know, the kind of movies and sort of geeky stuff I'm into, like comic books and whatnot, or my outdoor pursuits like rafting and gardening and camping and stuff. So it's nice being able to share this online, for the same reason I like watching other people's videos of their camping trips or rafting trips or whatever, or cycling trips, just to, you know, be able to share that passion with people. So I really do appreciate the viewers I get. So yeah, thanks for that, and till next time.